In the world of professional golf, there exists an elite club. A club filled with legends, household names, and rising stars. A club where membership is earned yearly with time, sweat, and dedication. This week, 50 players will gain entry into this exclusive fellowship. The top 25 from the regular season have already secured their spots, and another 25 spots are up for grabs here this week. Some dreams will be realized. Others will have to wait another day. Who will be next to join the likes of Jason Duffner, Grant Snedeker, and Keegan Bradley as the next great Web.com Tour graduate? EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present opening round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. Pressure-packed environment. 50 PGA Tour cards are up for grabs. Frank, this is a great day for golf, and the conditions here at Ponte Vedra Beach, Florida, look to be really good.
Rich, scoring conditions are absolutely optimal today. Expect to see a lot of low numbers.
For those of you just tuning in, we're checking in now on our featured golfer here at the fourth. Early in the round and playing reasonably well. Nothing great, but has certainly not given a whole lot away.
Yeah, and actually a good position to really springboard the round from here.
Headed for the bunker, I think. Getting set for this next shot from the rough. What does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are, because, you know, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing. Rich, you have to go back to 1983. That's when they started the all-exempt tour. And it took a few years before they started a second tour, and what is now known as the Web.com. Over 400 victories have come from players that have graduated from the Web.com. And that list of players, the Laymans, the Elses, the Furics, I mean, the list just goes on and on. They're almost the who's who of golf today.
Matt Kuchar's another guy who's become a PGA Tour superstar, and he put in some time on the Web.com Tour. So a long putt there and just didn't read it quite right. Nudge this one home, finish it up.
And that par certainly won't hurt the cause.
There's still some time. Frank, the golf course toughens up right here at the long par 4 fifth.
Yeah, when you play it off the back tee, 470 yards, it's nearly 320 yards to that last bunker down the left side. That really has to be in the back of your mind. The ideal tee shot, little left to right. Oh, I liked that.
Well, that was a beautiful drive, Frank. Really good position to take advantage.
Sitting up beautifully in the fairway.
This, the second shot here at the par 4. That one is bunker bound, it looks like. Well, he'd like to have that one back in the bunker.
Still a chance to get it up and down.
All right, so greenside bunker. What's he looking to do with this shot, Frank?
Well, really you have to look at the amount of green you got to play with. You don't have to try and fly the ball right by the flag. Allow it to run. Plus, if you can get it to run like a putt, you never know. It might just go in.
Can't hide the flagstick from that man. Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. Good stroke right there. That's a par, and stays at 1 under. Frank, you don't want to get too cute with that second shot here at the 6th.
I remember many a time, Rich, when they put the flag right of center. You try and hit it a little bit too close, those palm trees all of a sudden come into play. Hits one of those, that ball can go anywhere.
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag. In the direction of the sand.
Looks like it. So the second of the par 4 goes begging, and now I'll have to rely on the short game.
Yeah, but a short game, as we all know, can redeem a lot of mistakes. Let's see if he does it here.
And Frank, that steady play continues.
Rock solid. Excellent approach shot.
They'll take it. That's a par. Frank, 7th hole here at TPC Sawgrass. How do you break this one down?
Not overly long, 440 yards, but once again, it's a tee shot. If you're driving the ball well, that's fine. You just sort of blister it down there, but you're starting to lose one a little bit to the right. There's 3 pot bunkers there, and of course, if you're fearful of it going left, there's the canal all the way down the left side that'll get your attention.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Now the approach to the 7th. Frank, what do you need to be mindful of here?
It's rather narrow in the front of this green, and then there's some mounds both right and left. Be very aware of those mounds. They can actually help you out.
Headed for the bunker? Well, we've seen this before today, in the bunker.
And an awkward little bunker shot. Just splash it out, let the ball run towards the flag.
A beautiful, soft touch out of the bunker. That's Mickelson-esque. Shouldn't be a problem here.
You'd like that one again.
That is a painful bogey at the 7th hole. This to avoid a huge number. This is for bogey. So with that, the score is now at even par. Don't forget, second round coverage coming your way tomorrow here on EA Sports. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner saying so long for now. EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present second round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. Moving into the second round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, you can feel the pressure building.
You certainly can, Rich, and I expect that we're going to see more of what we saw yesterday, which is some fearless golf. And these guys are playing for a PGA Tour card, and they're not backing down.
Right where they were aiming, in the fairway. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Third shot, looking for a good one. So he didn't hit the green in regulation, but he still has a reasonably good chance to save his par, about 10 feet away. Right off the edge.
Just a fraction softer, then it might have just turned in.
So they'll tap in. So another bogey on the scorecard. And Frank, what happened this week?
I think it's a week to forget, Rich.
Now to the 11th, par 5.
Good tee shot, and then you certainly think about hitting a hybrid or a lofted fairway wood into this green that's really narrow, one of the narrowest on the golf course. There's a little pot bunker left of this green when you go for 2 that often swallows up that second shot if it's a little bit too conservative. But there's a lake there. Seen more than one ball splash in the pond over the years.
Looks like he's going to have a go at it here at the par 5, his second shot. Frank, how about this third shot to the par 5 11th?
Well, coming from the right side, once again, you have to be exact on the distance because that green now is at the wrong angle.
Seems to like it. Looks like it's headed for the green. On the green, and a chance for birdie. And it's a long way to the hole from here. Never easy. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
Oh, I thought he had that. Oh, tough break. So that's a bogey, and now to 1 over par for the tournament. Frank, what's so much fun about TPC Sawgrass is the excitement that it generates for a fan and how many different holes there are. 12 is a good example.
Yeah, 12 looks like it's fresh from Scotland. You can see why Pete Dye spent a lot of time over there. Tee shot looks straight away, but the second shot is blind. The shot you'd get in Scotland with a wedge where you just see the top of the flagstick and you've got to really guesstimate on the yardage that you have. But a good wedge shot and someone that can judge their distance, this is certainly a birdie hole.
That appeared to be a good strike right there, Frank.
Oh, good. It's just towering. Look at that hanging in the sky. Oh, nice little bounce forward. Should be close to 300, 290.
Now the approach to the 12th, Frank. What's the player looking at?
Well, it's a fun shot here for the second shot, especially if you've driven it down the right side, because then you can see the flag no matter where it is on the green.
That is an excellent play right there. The approach, giving him another good look. And getting ready for the putt. And with that birdie, into the top 25 on the leaderboard. One of the great things about this golf course, Frank, a variety of par 3s, different yardages. Here at the 13th, 181-yard par 3.
Yeah, this is where you have to be careful on the tee there. Anything left's just going to be eaten up by that lake. Matter of fact, if you hit one with a little bit of a hook and it catches the mound, it can still kick into the lake. So this one here, just be a little cautious on the tee. Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Chance for birdie after that beautiful shot. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Setting himself up for a good weekend, the wily golf instructor makes his birdie. Frank, the 14th hole. A lot has happened here over the years.
I think it's the litmus test on the back nine. That's where things really start to heat up. It looks like a straightforward tee shot, but often the eyes wander to that water down the left side. And, of course, if you think about that, you invariably fire the ball towards the right where those hillocks. It's gone for a little extra. Long just meant longer.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frank, there's a lot to factor in on this approach at the 14th.
You can favor right side of this green and sort of allow the contours of the green just to move that ball to the left.
Not close, but not bad either. That one's about 25 feet away.
Ooh, chance for birdie.
This one's tracking. Headed in the right direction with that birdie.
Just sneaks into the top 10. It's a good move this week.
Frank, right where you want to be at the midway point of a tournament.
Yeah, you know your game's solid. The focus is more on the leader and that you can just go out and play. Excellent position to be in.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present third round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. We are into the third round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the fourth and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. 50 PGA Tour cards up for grabs, dreams about to be made.
It's amazing what's ahead of these young players, Rich. Not just getting through the next two rounds, but also trying to suppress perhaps what might be for them next year.
Up now, hole number 12. It's a short one, 358-yard, par 4.
This can catch you off guard. If you just try and hit the ball on the fairway, if you're on the middle of the fairway, the left side, you will have a blind second shot. So ideally, hit it down that right side of the fairway if you want to see the flag. Rich, this is a rarity. A golf instructor or a former golf instructor trying their hand. This is old school. You used to see it in the 40s and the 50s. People used to go and teach in pro shops, then come out on the tour. I have not seen this for many a year. Someone good enough to teach, but good enough to play.
You're hearkening back to the 30s and 40s when guys like Ben Hogan and Byron Nelson, two of the greatest who have ever played.
They took club jobs.
They had to take club jobs. There wasn't that much money in those days in the professional ranks. Another guy that comes to mind is Claude Harmon. Now, I think most people know the name Butch Harmon. He was one of Tiger's most successful teachers along the way. This drive down the left side, Frank.
Yeah, it creates a blind second shot because of the mounds in front. So a little bit of guesstimation coming up here, but still only a short iron.
That should be pretty good right there. On the safe side. Put a birdie on the card here yesterday, don't forget. This hole's been good to him. Birdie yesterday and trying for another one today. This can be a cruel game at times. Just a little too much juice on that birdie putt, Frank.
It was bold. Very bold.
So just a formality here. So a steady climber with the par into the top 10.
Yeah, another scrapper.
Frank, 17 gets so much attention here at the TPC Sawgrass, but 13, par 3, is exciting in its own right.
It is, and it's actually more difficult than 17. One of the reasons it's longer, and also the green here. 17 obviously has two sections in it, front and top. This has, I don't think there's a flat piece on it. And every now and again we watch a ball roll all over this green and actually find the cup for the odd ace.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
Certainly had enough power just didn't have any touch. Shot now from the rough. Frank, what's he facing?
Well, the lie first and foremost. If it's sitting down, then obviously you're not going to get a very good contact. Nothing wrong with coming up a little bit short of the green. Problem is turning one mistake into another. I mean, this skill, and that was sublime.
Just good hands, coming out of the rough, able to manage the distance, and now in great position. Good effort and good par putt. And through the years, Frank, it has gotten the best of the best, hasn't it?
We've seen Tiger Woods hit it left. We've seen Vijay Singh hit it left. We've seen so many players in the water down the left. Conversely, many a championship's been lost by hitting the ball up in the mounds on the right.
You take 4 here and run to 15?
I would sprint.
That one is bunker bound, it looks like. And the tee shot ends up in the bunker. Frank, just a slight miss off the tee. He's in the fairway bunker.
Yeah, just really got to pick the right club once again. Sometimes you take a little bit more club out of the fairway bunker, choke down.
His second shot. "17 for most professionals, Frank, is a wedge or at most a 9-iron. That's a simple shot. What makes it so difficult?"
Well, several things. The fact that the color of the hazard is yellow, which is a water hazard, so if you know your rules, then if that ball lands on the green and pitches in the lake, you have to go to a drop zone. You don't get to just drop it on a piece of land. And so even for the best players in the world, there's intimidation and there's embarrassment at stake.
You know what I love about 17? It is really simple. Wet or dry, and on Sunday afternoon late, win or lose. Frank, not close, but from that line, not bad.
Oh, that's excellent. Seriously, given the conditions, Rich.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. Wow, that hurt.
It did. Shot gone forever.
Just a couple of feet. He's made it. Frank, the 15th hole certainly has the respect of the professionals.
But you're right. This is a positional hole where just keep the ball down the left center. You can't go too far, though, because you'll get blocked out or you'll run out of fairway. From there, it's really about knowing where the flag is, what position on the green, because this is another green that's not flat. If the second shot lands on the wrong portion of the green, it'll finish well away from the hole.
Not the best shot, this one in the rough, but still will have a play from there. So in the first cut here, it could be worse. Headed for the bunker? Well, at least he can draw on the experience from the previous hole. Again, in the bunker. Well, bunker play is really about technique and feel. The two greatest ever are probably Gary Player and Seve Ballesteros. Seve actually was so good, he was so skilled, that he could open up a 3-iron, that's right, a 3-iron, on a short bunker shot from a greenside bunker and splash it to a couple of feet as if he had just used a 60-degree sandwich. Amazing. In for par. So through 3 rounds, just outside the top 10, what kind of a chance do you give a player who is sitting outside the first 10?
Yeah, it's slim. I certainly would not say none, though, Rich. You know, we've countless times over the years seen someone post an early one in and watch the leaders crumble at the end. Good opportunity tomorrow. Put a good round on the board and then just sit back and wait. And then remember, there's also the chance of a playoff.
EA Sports and the Web.com Tour proudly present final round coverage of the Web.com Tour Championship. This is one of the most exciting days of the year in golf. It's the final round of the Web.com Tour Championship, the 4th and final stop of the Web.com Tour Finals. And Frank, this is the day that dreams are realized. And I'm talking about lifelong dreams.
You're exactly right, Rich. They say pressure is relevant, perhaps a putt to win a major championship or win a PGA Tour event. What about the thought of actually having another career? That's right, 18 holes. That's what it's going to take today. And maybe you have a career that's going to last for many a year going forward. But it all has to happen today.
Well, look out. This could be wet, Frank.
It's heading towards the hazard.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Par yesterday. Now for birdie. Very well done. Almost made it.
Yeah, there'll be no stress for the next one.
You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point. Good putt. 14th hole, 481 yard, par 4, ranking 2nd in difficulty, Frank.
Yeah, this one always gets overlooked, Rich. You've only got to flick the drive a little left, and all of a sudden your round just gets completely wrecked. Ask Vijay Singh. It cost him a Players' Championship. Many a player there has dealt with that left side. You will pay the price.
Great strike and a great result. Sitting up, good chance to attack the flag. Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
Frank, this one's offline.
There's rough and thick stuff over there.
You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish. But, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break.
Nice approach shot. He'll be happy with that. Not a gimme, but well within his range. Ooh, that hurts. Well, you can't make them all. You'd like to, but you can't.
Even par, currently.
Well, too bad. He gives one back. Back to the TPC Sawgrass, the 15th hole. It's a par 4 as we make our way to this finishing stretch. And Frank, what's in store for the players here?
Another one of those par 4s around 450 yards. Ideally hit it tee shot down the right side, keeping it away from that bunker, but that's a flat bunker down the right with no lip, so it's still not too bad. Biggest problem here is that green. So many undulations on this green.
Frank, what's the key on this approach here at the 15th?
Well, knowing exactly where that pin placement is, Rich, there's mounding, there's that little gut out of the right side of this green. If you miss your mark here, that ball can easily finish 30 or 40 feet away.
Well, he'll have to get up and down from the bunker to save his par. Great knees, great hands in this shot.
Yeah, touch. You have to have that feel. You have something between the ball and the club face, so it's a different feel, but you also have to have imagination.
Well, the best in the game don't do it any better. Mcllroy, Fowler, Duffner, they'd be impressed by that bunker shot.
Good solid stroke there, no sign of nerves on that.
Frank, I think one of the things that fans love about this gauntlet, 16, 17, and 18, each hole has that sort of hold your breath moment. Certainly 17, we know when that ball's in the air, you're holding your breath. Is it wet or dry? 16, same on that second shot. You're holding your breath wondering, where is it? Right in the water or left with a chance for 3?
That's why you don't want to get too sloppy on that tee shot. A lot of people look at 16 because there's a wide fairway and they think just get it down there. But the extra 10 or 15 yards, there's a little ridge down that left side. If you catch that, the ball will kick good 20 yards further forward. 20 yards is 2 clubs. I'd much rather go into 17 with a 4-iron than a 2-iron. Second shot.
Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Playing his third here at the par 5. Birdie try up next. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday. A birdie to send him to 1 under on the leaderboard. Oftentimes in golf, we'll say it's man against man, man against nature. Now, here's a good example. 1998 at the Players at the TPC Sawgrass, Steve Lowry was playing the 17th hole, the famous Island Green. Hit his tee shot right on the putting surface. And guess what happens? Here comes a seagull, swoops down, snatches up Lowry's ball, flies away, and drops it in the water. Too bad, Steve. Actually, he got to replace his ball on the green. Not looking good, Frank.
I think it's wet.
Just averted danger right there. So close.
Why does he have all the luck?
Long putt here. This will require a good touch. That's a nice lag putt. Frank, what would you focus on a long putt?
That 3-foot circle. Obviously, you allow yourself a little bit more the further and further away you get, but just expectations, lower them a little bit. There's certain distances, just take 2.
He'll take par and move on. People always talk about 17 being visually intimidating. Frank, what about 18?
If there's a little bit of wind off the right, the tee shot is so much easier. But if that wind is coming off the water, not only do you see the water and the wooden bulkheads, you see all the rough and the trees on the right. And of course, then you start bringing 5, 6, 7, even 8 into play. That's what makes this tee shot so hard.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Now his final approach shot of the day, just wants to go out in style.
One more good swing. This has to go in the hazard.
He needs to get up, or it's... Good news is, was able to retrieve the golf ball.
Yeah, on dry land, and can he carry it this time, though?
Playing his 4th shot after the 3rd was wet. 4th shot, wants to get this close. Not enough on that one.
Yeah, just seemed to baby it. Oh, that was solid, Rich. This one's safely on.
Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either.
You'd like that one again.
Those are painful from that distance.
Yeah, just another one added to the card. Big mistake.
So a tester from 4 feet. And he has it.
A good putt redeems all.
Frank, it was a great setting with great crowds. We saw plenty of very good golf. Your thoughts?
I think the course really extracted some of the golf that we saw. It forced these players to play just some great golf, and it wasn't just like a pitch and a putt golf course. So I think seeing the guys tested, seeing the players tested at this level, it was a treat.
Presented by EA Sports in association with the PGA Tour. Today it's live opening round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Resuming the action here at EA Sports, let's go out to the 7th hole and pick up with our featured golfer. Nothing noteworthy here in the first round, Frank, but still plenty of golf to be played.
That's right, Rich. A little bit of a dry spell, but really not a lot of damage done.
He'll be happy with that. In the fairway, now a good chance to attack this hole. Well, Frank, no doubt players thinking about one thing, making a three, hitting a good shot in there close.
Yeah, the green does narrow up a little bit in that back left corner, but a good layup gives you a chance to go directly at the flag.
Good-looking shot right here. That will be a great look at birdie. And getting ready for the putt.
Sneaking into contention here. That birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. 555-yard par 5 8th hole. Frank, is this a two-shotter or a three-shotter?
Good question, Rich. It starts to shrink down by the walkway, which is around that 330-yard mark. That's the decision has to be made. Personally, I think you try it at first, because even if you do find a fairway bunker, then it is certainly a layup. If you've got the distance, it's well worth the risk.
Be a little disappointed with that because it lands in the rough and it appears to be fairly thick over there. Good thing he stayed in the first cut because just a couple of feet over, that rough is really deep. So missed the fairway, and now he's back where he needs to be.
Yeah, minimize the problems.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special.
What a nice shot. Right on the green and a pretty easy putt on the way.
Chance for back-to-back.
That was a good-looking putt, just not falling right now.
Sadly, he's going to be disappointed.
Good stroke right there. That's a par, and stays at 1 under. Finishing out the front nine with a pretty difficult par 4. Again, water down that right side. Getting set for this next shot from the rough, what does the player need to be careful of here, Frank?
Well, this is where we're going to see exactly how good they are because, that's not exactly the best lie, but it's sort of doable if you know what you're doing.
See a little bit off balance on the tee, and that one is going to be in the rough. You have to think he'll be happy with that, given that it looked like it was headed right for the rough.
Yeah, it looked like that was the only place it was going to finish, but, well, it's a little bit unexplainable. Let's see what he does from here now. Lucky break. Now a putt for par.
This one just requires a little bit of focus. good par. Excellent front side, trying to keep it going here on the second 9.
He's just playing beautifully, hitting so many good shots, giving himself so many opportunities. Can he keep it going?
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble.
Appears to be what they call a commercial play, very solid. You can't hide the flagstick from that man.
He is just unbelievable, that never deviated offline.
And with the birdie, moves into the top 10 on the leaderboard.
And moves into some very good company.
Boy, this is a long par 5, the 11th at PGA West, 617 yards.
Long and straight.
That's how you do it. That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Frankie's cranking it and banking it. Giant drives, a boatload of birdies. What a round.
Yeah, these are the days you just dream for. We know golf's not that easy, but on a day like today, savor it and just keep going. Keep doing it.
Now the third shot here at the par 5 11th. Frank, obviously way too much club there.
You got to think something like that, or at least misread the wind. This is never going to sit down.
He'll need to be strong with this. Okay, good shot on the dance floor. Nice par to remain at 2 under. To the par 4 12th here at PGA West, short at 363 yards.
Tom Weiskopf was one of my idols growing up. I loved the way he swung. That swing right there reminds me of my idol.
And it looks like Rory Mcllroy, Frank, sticking the follow-through. Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
This is a good-looking shot. Not close, but not bad either. That one's about 25 feet away. You don't want to let this one get away. This is about concentration and focus at this point.
When you consider the length of that putt, it was a good putt.
Not a gimme, but well within his range. Wow, almost fell within just a few inches of dropping. So they'll tap in. That takes him to 1 under on the day. Second round coverage coming your way tomorrow. For our entire crew, I'm Rich Lerner alongside Frank Nobilo. So long for now. EA Sports is proud to present today's PGA Tour coverage. It's second round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. Well, here we are at the fifth hole, a 535-yard par 5 for the long-hitting professionals. Frank, certainly not a long test. What is the challenge here on this hole?
It's another example of great design by Pete Dye. He'll give you the trouble on the left on the tee shot, and then he moves the trouble to the right on the second shot. It's going to get you one way or the other.
That's a good start to the hole, right down the middle. And from the fairway for his second shot here. Frank, can one small tweak from an instructor lead to a big turnaround?
With the right player, yeah. You just want to hear the right message. It's like anyone in life. You just want to be pointed in the right direction.
Still with a good chance to make birdie here, the conventional way, on in 3, make the 1 putt. What's this third shot look like, Frank?
There's just a little bit of a faint ridge that comes through the middle of this green. Once again, with a wedge in hand, you're trying to land the ball the right distance. People obviously, they know where the flag is, but it's more about distance control with the second shot. That's going to take the water out of play.
Starting to move now, Frank, on this leaderboard.
Certainly going all in the positive direction. He's in the middle of the pack, now top 15.
Frank, a long par 3 here at the 6th, 255 yards. Club selection obviously is crucial.
Yeah, and length is very important here. Something that can fly high and land soft is obviously going to make that green play a little bit bigger. If you get a breeze off the right or left to right into, this hole becomes very challenging.
This one doesn't look good.
There's water over there.
Wow, lucky break right there, Frank.
Well, that's what everyone else is going to say, except him.
Made a par in his previous round. This time, it's for birdie. Always two components to the long lag putt, the speed, number one, and then the read, and missed out on that second part. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus.
Now, for such a strong man, weak putt.
Now I'll have to make this just to avoid making Michael Dublé. Frank, it's been that kind of a tournament. Another bogey.
Yeah, it's not exactly a small gap between that player there and the rest of the field. That gap's got to feel like the Grand Canyon right now.
We're at the 7th now, 346 yards with plenty of water on that right side. How do you handle this one, Frank?
You've got to pick a target there. A lot of people think when they're laying up off the tee, and that's exactly what this hole is. You just blaze away at something down the left side. But if you're going to pick a tree, don't just pick the tree. Pick a branch or a leaf. Be more specific. Whoop, this is taken off on a weird line.
And it's going to be in the rough, it looks like. How tough is this going to be now from the rough, Frank?
Oh, it's tough to say, Rich. I mean, so much is going to depend on that lie. I'm going to need a little bit of luck.
Good number, 140 yards. Frank, you played in conditions all over the world. Here come the winds now. What's the mindset?
Well, this is really what separates the men from the boys. This is where you've got to tell yourself that it's an advantage to you. Obviously, the scores will go up a little bit, given the conditions. But once again, this is going to suit the stronger player today.
I like the old phrase, swing easy when it's breezy.
Definitely when you're hitting it into a head breeze. But if down breeze, tee it up a little bit, try and ride that wind some more.
Oh, I thought he had that. Good try, just didn't quite read the break, Frank.
It shouldn't be a problem, you'd think, cleaning up here for par. Even par, currently.
Good effort and a good par putt. Now we're at the 8th hole here at PGA West in La Quinta, California. 559-yard par 5. Frank, what are the options here?
A good tee shot, you can certainly reach this par 5 and 2. There's a crosswalk that comes across in that vicinity of 330 yards. That's sort of the green light area if you can get it down there. Anything short of that, it becomes very much a three-shotter. But if you can get it close to that crosswalk that goes there, then certainly this becomes opportunity knocks.
Players aren't just grabbing any old golf club these days, Frank. It's about spin rate and launch angle and all of those sorts of concepts.
And the grooves, all those things help the player. Even the loft on wedges now. Loft is increased. We now see 64, 65 degree sand irons, so they get the ball up quicker and it stops quicker.
He has given this one the full treatment. Perfect release through the ball. And this shot is on the fairway, over 300 yards.
Well, it was almost like that's what he wanted to do, but why would you want it to run over the back? Remember, out of the rough. Expect the ball to jump forward a little bit.
Birdie try up next. This for another birdie on this hole on the week. Frank's starting to make the move.
Leaderboard very volatile at the moment, so a lot of move in that middle piece of the leaderboard. Top 20 so far.
Frank, as we arrive here at the par 4 ninth, 452 yards, I hear players like you often say, I'm going to take it on. What do you mean by that, and how does it apply to this particular tee shot?
Well, you have options, obviously. One is to hit it down that right side, which is your best shot. The easy way is obviously to bail it out down the left side, but then you're almost giving into the hole, like you're accepting you're going to make bogey if you're lucky. So in the end, you're forced to go back to option A, which is actually to challenge the best shot you have, which is down the right side.
Frank, really good chance from this position to make a birdie.
Yeah, really the only thing he's looking at right now is the flag. This is a green light special. This looks like it's going to find the target.
That's well played. Now a good look at birdie. Just needs to keep it steady here over the putt. I thought that was in.
Yeah, it looked good. I mean, line, pace. It's hard to be critical of that.
Shouldn't be a problem here. They'll take it. That's a par. Frank, what a day of golf out there. I mean, this is really an exciting golf course.
It is. It's so nice to see it back on the PGA Tour rotation. Great golf courses deserve to be seen, and more importantly, they deserve to be played.
presented by EA Sports and the PGA Tour. Today it's live third round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. And 230 big yards to the flagstick on this par 3.
This is not heading in the right direction.
No, it looks like it's going to be in the rough. Slight miss, and he'll have to deal with some of the heavy grass. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Frank had hit the green, but just didn't have enough backspin.
You wonder what he was thinking on that.
Wow, what a shot.
What are the chances of making it from there?
Frank, what's the best way to make 3 here at this 389-yard par 4 14th?
I'm not sure, really. I know there's 2 definitive options, hitting it down the left or carrying over the bunker. And I think that's another example of Pete Dye. There's one of those holes you never really know if you've made the right play until you finish the hole.
Frank, this TPC Stadium course in La Quinta, California has quite a history, doesn't it?
It certainly does. Every style of golf, age group, whether it's someone trying to get their tour card at the tour school, skins games played here from 1986 to 1991, even the PGA Club Professional Championship, they've all come and played here. It's so good to see it on the back on the rotation. But I've got to say, the one thing, and I was there, in 2000, it was the PGA Tour Q School. It was won by Stephen Allen, who was an Australian player. But the worst thing I've ever seen on a golf course happened on Alcatraz, 17th hole there. Joe Daly, who was looking like he was going to make his PGA Tour card, had a putt of about 3 feet. And I think he was playing with Craig Perks, who went on to win the Players' Championship. Joe Daly hits this putt. It hits the back of the hole, the liner in the hole, and popped out on the front lip. Never saw that before. It was amazing. And as luck would have it, Joe Daly missed his tour card by 1 shot.
That was as cruel a twist as I have ever seen in golf. Oh boy, Frank, what happened there?
Just in between, Rich. You don't want to come up short. There's no way, you're going to try and be in that situation, but a little too much club and probably a little too anxious too. Tough position.
Solid play, heart of the green. Locked in on the read and the speed. And that's in for a par. Now to the par 4 15th hole, 468 yards. Frank, what do you like about number 15?
The variation of the bunkering here, Rich, I think is excellent. The bunker that meanders its way down the right side tends to go to the right, and then you start to see those two bunkers down the left side. You've really got to try and take that second one on the left out of play. That requires something in excess of 280 yards. From there on in, you've got a chance. Well, that's got to be 300 yards, isn't it?
Frank, this is a position where a player is absolutely licking his chops here. Good chance to make a birdie.
Yeah, this is when this game just looks like fun. Bunkers don't seem to be in play. The only thing you're really looking at right now is just the flag.
Down. Lay down. Well, too bad, Frank. That one rolled right off the green.
It was just coming out so hot.
Ball sitting down here in the rough. He's digging in. And he's made the green. So just a formality here. Been a little too much of that, Frank. Just sort of ho-hum pars. Now to the par 5 16th. Frank, this is a pretty solid hole.
Like all the other par 5s here, length gets a big advantage here. This hole, as you mentioned, bends to the left, and that bunker can be taken out of play by the longest hitters. 326 yards will get you past that. Otherwise, there's sort of a V shoot down the right side that everybody else has to respect.
Just a good solid tee shot right there, about 280 yards. Nice position, short grass, second shot. This one is definitely heading left. Looks like it is going to end up in the rough. And that one rolls just into the rough.
Now you have to decide whether or not that ball's going to fly or not.
He'll need to be strong with this.
Oh, solid strike right in the heart of the green.
Wow, Frank, he is dialed in.
Yeah, that was just some shot on there. Easy birdie.
Wow, that was so close, Frank.
Just time to forget that one. I mean, he couldn't hit that much better.
Been pretty good all day from this distance, just trying to take care of business. That is a solid par putt right there. Well, well, well. Here we are at the famous Alcatraz. Frank missed the green off the tee.
Yeah, but this is certainly a tricky little shot coming up here at the par 3.
Frank, this actually isn't the most difficult shot, is it, for a high-level player?
You got a clean lie, it's firm underneath. The biggest thing, though, really, you don't want to hit the path first. Clean strike, though. This is almost like hitting off the fairway.
This hole really sets up well for the player. Birdie yesterday, and a chance for another one today. Really not much to this. The only issue would be a lack of concentration or focus. Frank, this has been an absolute mess today and all week long.
You said it best.
Well, here we are at 18. It's a par 4, only 439 yards, but again, we've said it all day long. Water to deal with.
It's a great driving hole here, Rich. You don't necessarily have to hit driver. There's three groups of bunkers that are really in play off the tee shot. It's the one in the middle. That's around 290 yards. That's the one you really have to focus on. For stronger players, there's nothing wrong with hitting 3-wood off the tee there. You're still only going to have a shot of 150, 160 yards. Whichever way you look at it, it's something that you think you can find the fairway with.
Frank, not the longest hitter, but sometimes you win tournaments by putting it in a good spot, and that's where we are right here, 280 yards out.
Yeah, 280 down the middle of the fairway. That'll never get you in trouble. Should be safely on deck.
Great way to finish off the final approach shot with a birdie opportunity. See if he can go one better than yesterday when he made par. This putt for birdie. Frankie took plenty of time on this birdie putt. He looked at it from 3 different angles. He forgot one very important ingredient.
Yeah, pace. You can definitely fall in love with the line, even with approach shots as well, but obviously we see it more on putting.
Did the job right there. Final round coverage comes your way tomorrow for our entire crew. I'm Rich Lerner saying thanks for being with us on EA Sports, and so long for now. EA Sports is proud to present PGA Tour coverage. Today it's live final round coverage of the Career Builder Challenge. You see the blend of holes here from the long par 5 to the short par 4, now to the 214-yard par 313. Missed that one, and it is going towards the rough. Into the thick stuff, that's a difficult lie. Second shot coming out of the rough here. Strong winds continue to be a factor. Frank, I know you've played all over the world. How much did you enjoy the challenge of playing into a stiff breeze?
Well, it was a chance to separate yourself from the rest of the field, Rich. Just like these conditions we're seeing right now. You've really got to be smart, pick the right shot. If you get too aggressive on a day like today, you'll pay a far more severe price than normal.
Club selection obviously is crucial.
Oh, it's imperative today.
Take an extra club or two, choke down?
Very much so.
Good contact, good result. That is tasty looking right there, Frank. Just a perfect spot in the fairway.
That is prime real estate. How do you get a lie like that? Seriously, you could hit any club from there.
Frank, what's the key here? Second shot at 14.
Green sits up a little bit, well protected by those bunkers there. A nice high, soft landing shot.
That will be a great look at birdie. This one just requires a little bit of focus.
Sneaking into contention here, that birdie.
Top 15 now on the leaderboard. Frank, if a player needs to make a big move at the close of the round, how could they get at this whole location and make a birdie? They call this turning home.
Yeah, I think that's where you have to be a little more aggressive off the tee shot. A drive of 280 yards can certainly take those two bunkers down the left out of play. There is one in the distance down there, 350 yards, so even the longest hitters can still hit driver down there. You imagine pumping one down there, sort of 340 yards. Now you turn a long hole into a drive and wedge. That's how you get aggressive.
That one is in the fairway, down there about 290 yards. Second shot now at 15. Playing this par 4, still not on the green after that second shot.
But still not done. A good third shot, maybe get away here with par.
Frank, this ball's in the rough. Anything you change in your technique when a ball's sitting down a little bit?
Yeah, you put the ball back a little bit further in your stance because you're going to get a bit of grass between the ball and the club face. So you have to allow for that. And keep that club moving. That grass is going to be that grass is going to create a certain amount of resistance.
How about that shot? From that lie to get it that close, tremendous effort. Shouldn't be a problem here, but not a formality either. Struggling a bit with the flat stick, and a drop shot here at the 15th hole. Bit unfortunate, loses a shot here with that bogey. Frank, this could be an exciting and pivotal point in the round, the par 5 16th.
Especially if the player decides to have a go here. If you're going to take it on a direct line, then you've got to carry all of that bunker complex. But then the other thing to realise, what's the worst thing that can happen? Just in the bunker, right? It's worth a go. Either that, hit it down the right side. There's no way you're going to reach this par 5 and 2.
Well, this one's sweet, Frank.
Super.
That is massive off the tee.
Meters, yards, I don't care how you measure that. That's got to be what? 300 meters, 325 yards, something like that.
And he steps up to take this shot from the fairway. Frank, I think what sets golf apart from other sports is that the fan can get so close to the great athlete as the round is being played.
Yeah, well, that's why the sport itself, and we consider it more intimate for that reason. You know, most golf spectators play the game. Whereas other sports, you don't see NFL players sitting in the grandstand. You see spectators, but most golf fans are golfers.
Third shot, looking for a good one. Really good distance control there, playing well to his strengths. Birdie putt coming up. Had a par on this hole yesterday.
Which has been a very good workmanlike performance. Yet another birdie.
Into the top 15 on the leaderboard. Well, let's see, Frank. The par 3 17th. Just 168 yards. You can't miss it right. Can't miss it left. Can't miss it short. You can't miss it long. Good luck. Appears to be what they call a commercial play. Very solid. Frankie's knocking them down and picking them up.
Oh, it's just taking pins out, one after the other.
Standing over this putt, concentrating on the read. Racking them and stacking them right now. 6 under par for the tournament. One great hole after another here at PGA West. The finishing hole, no exception Frank, what can we expect here?
Great finishing hole. It's amazing. If you took the 3 bunkers we're first going to see down the right side, this would almost be a nothing hole. But because they're perfectly situated here, they really shrink up that driving area down the left side. And this is just a reward for a great swing, a great strike, a great shot.
Frank, that is position A.
Yeah, the tee shot was like silk, Rich. I mean, just sets up that second shot so beautifully.
Frank, this approach shot seems pretty straightforward. Just don't hit it left.
Yeah, it's a tough second shot. It's that visual. Once again, you've got that green that's angled to the left. But once again, like a few holes out here, you do not have to hit directly at this flag. You are allowed to move that flag mentally 15, even 20 feet to the right. There's nothing wrong with that.
Appears to be a smart shot, Frank.
Yeah, no problem here. That's going to fly all the way.
And they're close, about 8 feet from the cup. Bogey here yesterday, chance to better that today. Down it. That's a birdie. Frank, solid effort today. What's your assessment?
Golf like that can certainly result in wins, that's for sure. But more importantly, the opportunity to get one.